All right. Awesome. Well, let's get this podcast started. So thank you so much for tuning in to the third episode of the Greenville Pep Talk with Scott Allensbach, North Carolina real estate agent here in Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah, Warren Allen, owner of the Click Firm.
Oh, nice. Owner of the Click Firm. So you're like a young entrepreneur.
Must be.
Nice. So we just wanted to bring our love about Greenville, North Carolina, the best Greenville in the United States. So we decided to open up this podcast. So we first started as the first episode about events that were going on, and then we thought it was great, got some great feedback, but it was irrelevant after probably the weekend.
Yeah, with the event thing, you can't go back and listen to it. So
right. So then we switched it up. We're learning as we go, and we did a great episode, episode number 2 about Dickinson Avenue. So
yeah, I think that was a good one, doing like the highlight or a recap or review type episodes. Better.
Yeah, I do think that was awesome, and we got some awesome feedback about that. I do want to put a disclaimer out there. We are very new into this podcast thing, so we have a very tight budget, meaning we don't have one because we don't make money off of this. This is just something that we're learning as we go. And it's something fun to do for us.
Well, something else, we have to give a shout out to Luna Pizza because we forgot to talk about them last week.
Yeah, I wanted to say Luna, and they also, that day after we released it, they also won Best Pizza for Pitt County. Right? So Daily Reflector for the best of 2019. Luna won second year in a row with their best pizza. So Richard over there, he's an amazing guy. He used to be a professor, went to Italy, learned how to make some different dough, and their pizzas are phenomenal. Their menu is off the chain. Everything there I've had is from the mushrooms, and I'm not even a mushroom guy. I'm a fun guy that doesn't like fun guy, but the mushrooms there.
What? Do you use that regularly?
Yeah, you've never heard that before?
No.
I'm a fun guy that doesn't like fun guy. So, but the mushrooms there are great. The meatballs are phenomenal. The sauce is off the chain. Even their desserts are great. So we apologize. Like I said, this is the disclaimer that we're putting out in episode 3. We are just a team of 2. We have no assistants. There is no back end. There's a camera in front of us that we set up on a tripod. So, and we are learning as we go. So the disclaimer is that we're young professionals and we are learning this just like anyone would. And that's kind of a little segue into what we might be talking about today.
Yeah, young professionals, man. Why don't you give us a little intro? What's that? What's that all about?
Yeah, so the Young Professionals of Pitt County, this is with the Greenville Chamber of Commerce. So I had was fortunate enough to be the chair for a year and vice chair and then also past chair on the steering committee for the Young Professionals of Pitt County. So they have a huge event coming up, but I wanted to give you a little bit of history about young professionals because there is a small gap in employment here in Pitt County, and it's one of those things that the young professionals are trying to combat, and it was part of it started in 2007 with a strategic planning process with the Pitt County Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. So they started in 2007. They launched Young Professionals in 2008 of January. So it's been around for a while now. It's had its 10-year birthday and going strong. It'll be 12 years in January, so that's really cool. And I got to serve 3 years on the steering committee. So they do a lot about keeping young professionals in Pitt County. It's one of those things that the employment gap between college kids and older professionals is very large. So everyone that I've talked to goes to ECU here and they love it. And then they say, I want to get out of here. I want to go to the bigger markets like Raleigh and Wilmington. And
yeah. Well, the thing with the young professionals too is that, it's not just like when people say young, it's not college kids. Like there's a pretty big age range there. I mean, it's like up to like 40.
Yeah, it's up to 40.
You think of young maybe when you're young, like a teen or something, but it's really kind of wide range.
No, I completely agree. So it's from 21 to 40-year-olds. And the best thing about it is it's trying to retain this talent that there is. There's some natural talent that's a lot of these people have. And they go to bigger markets for a bigger paycheck, but they don't realize that sometimes going to a bigger market means more cost.
Or people in like grad school too. There's a lot of people over at Vidant. There's a big pool of people in that age range that just really don't have like a way to get together or a common meeting,
Yeah, and the thing about it is too that it's one of those things that when they get here, they come here to college, they love it, and then they leave, then they come back. Actually, we've seen a lot of people say, I went to ECU and I came back and now I started a family. Well, what about in between years? And Greenville has been great for a lot of people, but it also didn't have a lot of nightlife or not a lot of things for young professionals to do.
Right.
So we've seen some entrepreneurs in the young professional group that has actually created some of their own businesses and started here, like Michael Glenn over at Pitt Street Brewery. he's saw the vision, and with Mike McCarty over, there as well. So they made a brewery now, which Greenville was lacking 5 years ago. So, which is cool. I mean,
well, the thing is, you can build a business in Greenville. I mean, look at like Garrett Blackwater with Grover Gaming. I mean, a huge technology company, one of the fastest growing ones in the state,
right,
out of Greenville.
And he's out of ECU. He played basketball here, and then now he's set shop up here. We've got Grady-White boats here. So Jamie Bailey works over there. She's on the steering committee, and she's a young professional member, and she's working her way up in the Grady-White world, and she travels all over the United States for boat shows and stuff. And Grady-White boats are based right here in Greenville, North Carolina, which is cool. So Heister Yale is a forklift company. We have a bunch of people that work for Heister Yale in the group, and they have multiple locations all over the world. I think they're the second or third largest forklift manufacturer. Right. So, I mean, Greenville's growing. Greenville means business. That's what the mayor says, and it's actually really cool that the mayor is a young professional. Will Bell is a young professional. He's on the steering committee. Will Bell's
not the mayor.
No, Will Bell is not the mayor, but he's a city council member. Your
sentences like ran together. The mayor is a young professional. Will Bell, he's...
well, PJ Conley is the mayor. Yeah. He's a young professional.
Gotcha.
Space. Will Bell is the... Period is a member of the steering committee, and he just won his next re-election. So
Congrats, Will.
Yeah, so he's on the city council, and he's a young professional. So the goal, the mission that right off the website is to provide a foundation for future leaders while creating a better place to live, work, and play. So,
yeah, shout out to Will too on how much trash he picks up. Like they're gonna have to open up a new dump for him. I think it's like every weekend he picks up trash or something.
Yeah, he does like a sanitary Sunday with all the fraternities just to clean up the grid area where they live and work and play. And that's one of the great things about him, that he's a young professional that started that. He works for a company, just got promoted as well in his field. So, I mean, he's doing really great things for the city, and professionally he's doing great things. And then also just on his weekends doing awesome things about cleaning up, and there's been tons of stuff. So follow him on Facebook and catch what he does with the sanitary Sundays with all the Greek life. So let's talk about a little bit on the young professionals. It wouldn't be possible without some sponsorships. So a big shout out to Polly Piland with State Farm. She has been a huge supporter. She's hired a ton of local young professionals and has kept them here for a while now. So
what a strategic move. Like, if you were going to hire somebody or was looking to hire like young professionals, you could just go to a Third Thursday event and there would be 100 of them hanging out.
Yeah. So what's the so tell the people that might not know about young professionals, what's the Third Thursday?
Yeah. So about? Third Thursday is a hangout. They have it at different places. We've had it at like Village. They do it there. They do it up at the Loft. Nino's, pretty much anywhere. I think it's a little circuit, Pitt Street Brewery, Uptown Brewery. And then it's like 5:30 to 7 or something.
Yeah, so 5:30 to 7, and great networking. It's not, it doesn't feel forced. There's no format. It's really just meet and greet. You can have a drink. You don't have to have a drink. Sometimes there's food, sometimes there's not. But it's just a very casual setting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people from ECU too. I mean, there's a lot of faculty over there that may be in that age group that's having a tough time finding somewhere to hang out. I know Brandon Morrison. He's a great guy that found out about young professionals, and he's not out there to like sell something or network. He's just there to hang out and find people in his age range, chill with. Yeah,
some of my best friends I've met at Young Professionals. So my roommate and Katie Frick and Sean McGowan, and he's your roommate.
He was, roommate a few years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, all these guys are people that I really respect and like to hang out with outside of the organization. So we'll be watching football and stuff together, tailgate together, do fun things. So, I mean, it's great to meet people there. And if you're brand new here, I know you might have came from some big market or some little market, but you're brand new and don't know anybody. This gets you to meet people that are not at work too. So you can like get out and like spread your wings a little bit and like let loose a little bit.
Right.
And not be in the work setting.
I think you made a good point with like Sean and a lot of those guys, like he works at Sanderson Farms. I mean, he's not there to sell insurance, or like he's not, it's not like a networking thing. He's there to just meet people, hang out.
And he's always there for the food too. So yeah, Sean definitely loves the food when we have it. So he hasn't been able to make a whole lot of them this year, but it isn't really pushy. Like no one is pushing their business on you. It's just natural. And also come as you are. If you are, doing business casual Fridays, in sweatpants and t-shirts, that's okay. But if you want to show up in a young professional event, you can wear that. That's a shout out to someone sitting in the corner over here, right over there. So, but Also, if you're in scrubs, we have people that are doctors and nurses that will come right
they
out
get
of
off
work.
shift and
Right.
come hang out.
And then, I wear T-shirts and shorts and flip-flops, and I'll put on a polo shirt. But, I mean, it's definitely something that...
Speaking about that, the business after hours is not a T-shirt event.
Did you learn that last night?
I learned that last night.
Yeah. Business after hours is a little bit different. So the young professionals mimic the business after hours. So young professionals do it every third Thursday of the month. So the third Thursday of the month, they meet somewhere. So go on their website, ypofpitt.org, or check them out on Facebook is probably the best. So the Facebook is awesome because that you can follow up all their events. So we're shooting this on a Friday, and next week is the third Thursday, but they're doing a bigger event next Thursday. So
Wiggin out for charity, man.
Yeah, have you ever been to that yet?
Yeah. Oh, well, let me get my notes out.
So Wiggin out for
Rock
charity.
Springs, right?
Yeah, it's at Rock Springs. So Warren's gonna tell you a little bit about it, and I'll tell you a little history about it.
Yeah, so it's a Vidant Care Center, benefiting the Vidant Care Center. It'll be Thursday the 14th at Rock Springs from 6 to 10. More info on ypofpitt.com, org. So it's in partnership with the Vidant Health Foundation. And they're raising money for wigs, so it's cancer patients and stuff. I didn't realize how expensive wigs were, but that's something when everyone's worried about their bills and their housing, rent, electricity, utilities. It's like the last thing on the list is get a wig, right?
Yes, so that's one of the things that some people near and dear to our organization were part of this and has definitely gone through some cancer. So it doesn't just affect older people, it doesn't affect younger people, it affects everybody. So the Vidant Cancer Center is a great building here in town that needed some help funding 2 years ago. So the young professionals started this. Our first event was for March of Dimes, and it was a great event. It was a small event, but in Greenville, when you start an event, it takes a little time to grow.
Yeah.
So Kimber Stone over at the Chamber told me last night they have 130 tickets sold already. Their goal is for over 150, maybe 200 people this year.
What's the
which would be
ticket
amazing.
price? I think it's $45.
It's $40
For a single.
yeah. 75 for a couple, and then a table
Table's
is
300.
300. So great deal for a table, and it's 8 people for the table. But with the Vidant Cancer Center, we have some stuff going on there that they just needed extra funding. So we partnered with the Vidant Foundation. We also partnered with Greenville Utilities and the Chamber of Commerce. So those three entities helped to bring up together, and they raised over $10,000. Huge amount of money that young professionals came to. And the whole concept is to come as you are and wear a wig, because it is tough for some people to afford a wig. It's also sometimes, a little bit daunting to lose all your hair and then have to put on a wig that you're not familiar with. So some people will wear fun wigs. Some people actually wear real wigs. And it's the money that they raise can help people offset that cost, because that is one cost that maybe you can't afford that. And hopefully we can raise some money for it. So that would be great. And it's a great organization. It's a fun time. It's at Rock Springs from 6 to 10 on November 14th.
Yep.
So it will be a lot of fun. It will be exciting, and I hope that everyone can come out there. So that was just a little plug for Wiggin out for charity.
Yeah, man. Event of the year.
It is a fun one, and it's relaxed. It's laid back. More young professionals go to it, but that's one of those things. So we talked about Piland, State Farm helping out with this. She's a huge sponsor, and for the last couple of years, we've talked a little bit about who is part of the organization of young professionals, and young professionals are under the Chamber of Commerce. Pitt County Chamber of Commerce has a great staff over there. Kimber Stone is the liaison for the young professionals.
And they have a membership. So you can come to the events. I don't know if there's any real rules if you have to be a member after a certain number, I think. But, if you do want to invest into it, it's $150 a year, I think.
For the Chamber?
For young professionals?
Yeah, $100 actually.
$100.
Yeah, even cheaper. So it's $100 for the year, and it's great. They don't push you. It's one of those things. Come out to a free event. This one with the Wiggin out is for a ticket, but come out to one of the third Thursdays, and you don't have to sign up right away. It's cool if you do. There's membership cards that you get free discounts around town. Travis Albee is the president right now, or the chair. He works with
Forest Firm,
and his wife owns Juice Vibes in town. So they're young professionals and young entrepreneurs.
Cool. He's in Greenville with the Forest Firm. They're a big agency. They're all over the state, and they're a certified B corporation. So they're actually hold themselves to a very high level of I think it's not only environmentally but socially like contributors to obtain that status. So.
Yeah, and I've been seeing on his Facebook he tries to help other young professionals start their business. So you might not know the legal parameters of it. So definitely check him out at the Forest Firm. His name's Travis Albee. He is the chair for this year, and then next year Nathan Cohen with Wells Fargo Advisors is stepping up and going to be taking the chair role. So he's a great guy, young guy. He's been nominated for the 40 under 40 with ECU. Mm-hmm. He works with Wells Fargo Advisors. So if you're looking for anyone to help out, you might not know how to invest or anything like that. So he would be a great guy as a young professional to go talk to. Again, very casual. Is he trying to sell his business at young professionals? Absolutely not. He's just there to help out and also to talk and can give you great advice on things like that. So we talked about Jamie Bailey over at Grady-White. So if you want to buy a boat, give her a shout. $500,000 boats or whatever the case may be. You've also got Aileen Mancini. She actually just got married, so she changed her last name, I believe. But she works over at Rock Springs Catering. So if you're looking for anything kind of catering.
Just so Grady-White doesn't get mad at us, they do have these new Coastal Explorer boats, these smaller center consoles, which are awesome for around here. I don't think they're $500,000.
Really? I don't know the boat lineups at Grady-White, but have you ever been over there? It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's an incredible facility.
It is an amazing facility. So we talked about Will Bell. We have Brian Kilborn. He's not on the steering committee, but he was at the event last night that we were at, and he works with WNCT. So he's great there. And there's a bunch of different people. Sean McGowan with Sanderson Farms, Victoria Hardy in the dental program.
There's Alex Barrett, Domtar. There's a lot of medical facilities here too, like the pharmaceutical plants. There's a lot of people that come out from there. Like, it changes its name so much. I'm not quite sure what it's called now. Patheon.
Yep. Thermo Fisher, Sydney with Thermo Fisher. So there's a ton of different people. And I know this podcast is about young professionals, but I'd hope that some older professionals will listen to this podcast because this might be a way for you to retain your talent. If you are thinking about hiring somebody and they have no clue how to connect into Greenville, this is the avenue that you need to send them to.
Here's the game plan. This is what you should do. You should go to this, and then you'll learn about other events like the Wednesday night happy hour at Still Life, things where people in that age range are going to be hanging out at. You know?
And I believe that I full-heartedly believe that if someone plugs into the city that they live in, we plugged into Greenville, North Carolina, we call it home, and we love it here. But if they do plug in, they're going to be most likely to stay and less likely to just get up and leave. There have been people that have met, they're dating. I mean, people date each other and they met at young professionals. So, which is great avenue because if they start growing roots, they're going to stay here and it's going to be less money for you to recruit. So that's a shout out to the older professionals that are doing the hiring. Definitely plug into the YP of Pitt. So it's ypofpitt.org. Young Professionals of Pitt County is the Facebook page. So like it, share it. If you're trying to
recruit good talent, that would be a good way to sponsor the YP because Polly Piland, she's the main sponsor, but I'm sure they have other like packages. And stuff.
Absolutely. They have a golf tournament, a full 18-hole golf tournament that always look for sponsorships. And if you're looking for talent, that might be aware. And it's not just for young professionals, everybody. Older professionals, the unprofessional people are still allowed to come.
Unprofessional?
We say that unprofessionals and older professionals are allowed to come to the young professional events. It's free to come to most of the events except for the ticketed ones. But then if you want to play golf, play with the young professionals because you might find your next manager or your next whatever you're looking for there. And other people might be looking for a job. They might not be happy where they're at, but it's not there to recruit. It's just there to network and to start building those connections in business. So.
I guess we were going to talk about some of the other one, we were going to give Nucleus a shout out. This is where we're recording today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's another networking source. They had an event here last night, which was an event called Millennials Are Talking. They had students from ECU and other millennials talking about basically how the changes in the workforce and things they'd like to see happen. And I think they had like employers and stuff here too, listening to them and hearing them out. So they're having events here. This is a co-working space. It's $155 a month. It's basically a membership. It's month to month. So if you're looking to start a new business, or maybe you work out of your home or your office, or there's even some ECU students that just don't really like the library. They like to leave their stuff here set up. It's a locked door. You can unlock it with your phone. So they can come here, hang out, and then go grab coffee, come back, whatever you want to do. It's a really cool space for that.
It's located right here in the Uptown Greenville area, right across from the 5 Points Plaza, where all the Free Boot Fridays and all the events go on, like the Wednesday farmers markets in the summertime. But yeah, this place looks amazing. You walk in, we've got the brick behind us, we've got a nice wall in front of us, but then there's couches, there's leather couches, there's conference rooms that you are free to use. So with that small membership, you're allowed to park your car over across the street, come over here, use it any time of the day. It's not locked at certain times.
Right.
So you're allowed to come as you go. And then also the conference rooms to meet a client or just to network here. Like you said,
Right,
there's
a kitchen
bunch of
and
people.
everything. So it's kind of like having an office, but you're not paying for Wi-Fi, you're not paying for utilities, you're not paying all these things that come along with having your own space.
Right. There's a business brokerage here with John McCory. There's Mike Rogister. There's gentleman in the back. One of the senators was running his campaign out of here, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And but also we had Mike Rogister. He has an office in here with the Allstate for meeting his clients, like if they want to come down here in this area.
The Heather Stepp Real Estate Group is here in the building as well. So when everyone's needing a real estate agent, definitely call us, heatherstepp.com. That's a little plug for my company that I work for. So
Nice.
I've got a lovely boss named Heather Stepp, and she is sitting right over there. So I got to say really nice things about her. But it's one of those things that we are with Keller Williams New Bern. So it's awesome that we have the space here in Uptown Greenville, and we do have a coffee bar here, so you can have a coffee with your client, and it's a great space for us to meet, and it's quiet, but it's nice to meet different people and not just be in your same boring office.
Yeah,
So if you
that's
need
what
something,
I was starting my business like 3 months ago, and I had a home office, still do, but there's not. But it gets a little boring when you're sitting in there by yourself all day.
Right.
You're leaving to go meet clients and stuff, and then come back to the house. But it's nice to have like an office set up.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here, so it's great. So that's the Nucleus Uptown.
Yeah,
in
shout out
Uptown.
to Catherine and Rick Dahlia. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, but
I wasn't going to butcher their name, so
yeah.
Catherine and Rick, they're awesome. They bought the space, they renovated it, they did everything, and the packages are very minimal. You can get a bigger office if you want your own quiet office with a separate lock. But I've left my computer here and gone to lunch and come back.
Yeah, there's like cameras and stuff, and with the doors like always locked, so it's not like people are walking in and out.
And they did a happy hours, just kind of a meet and greet as well. So we got to meet people. We've met a lovely lady who owns her own company. She's a professional writer, and she came to an event with us with the Mystery Mayhem thing a couple of weeks ago. So a lot of great people.
A lot of freelancers. There's a lot of engineers, like software engineers, also just people whose home office may be in Raleigh or something, and they just work out of their house.
Yeah, so check them out, Nucleus Uptown. That's right down in the Uptown area of Greenville, North Carolina. So Greenville, North Carolina, this is where I call home, and I've called home for 10 years. Been a real estate agent for 5 of it, and I've jumped around from job to job, but I love it here. This is the best Greenville that I know. No qualms against anything against Greenville, South Carolina, but the Greenville, North Carolina is better. Greenville means business. We just
Is Greenville paying you? Is the city paying you?
They're not paying me, but Greenville did just win a $15 million grant. Did you see that?
Yeah, for the extend the trails and everything else. That's
One of
awesome. 3
locations in North Carolina to win a $15 million to keep the Greenway. So we have a great Greenway through the town, and now they're going to connect it from ECU all the way to Vidant, so you can ride your bike down and go to work.
That's awesome.
Which is going to be sweet. So it's already 5 miles. It's going to add another 5. Also, the Pitt County Chamber of Commerce, shout out to them. They are the only 5-star accredited chamber in North Carolina.
Right.
That is huge. That's a 5-year accreditation process. They just got it again. So they're still the only one. They got the phone call yesterday, and they celebrated.
Last night. That was cool.
Yeah, so check them out on the Facebook page as well. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Give them all the platforms again.
So if you look us up on Facebook, it's greenville.show. We are on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher now. I found the easiest way to search is if you just type in Greenville NC into like Apple's podcast. You'll see our pictures up there. That's probably the easiest way to find us. Or if you go to www.greenville.show, you can just listen to it straight from the website. But that works best on like your computers and stuff. If you're on your phone, you probably want to use Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, Apple Podcast is really easy. Also, I would like to ask everybody, give us some reviews, give us some 5-star ratings if you can, if you like this. If you don't like our voice, I'm sorry, we can't really change that.
If you want to find a new podcast,
if you want to see what we look like, follow us on Facebook. We have the video up there, so we showcase the location and usually put some stuff behind or in front. So it's cool.
And please,
like
if
that.
you learned like one thing, just share it. That's like how you can help us out, because sharing it, there's going to be so many people in Greenville. But
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we're working on getting it out there to more people, more employers, just so if someone's coming in for a job interview, hey, share the podcast. They might be looking for something to do. So,
yeah, man.
Also, just last thing is that if you have any suggestions of if you are curious about something and you want some feedback or you want an idea to do, give us a call or shoot us an email. My email is Scott with 2 T's at East Carolina Realtor. So SCOTT at EASTCAROLINA Realtor REALTOR.com. So shoot us an email
and mine's Warren at clickfirm.com, CLICKFIRM.
So check it out. Send us an email and say, hey, I'm looking for things to do for kids, and we'll go figure out the stuff out, and we'll do a podcast about it. Or if you're looking for a date night ideas, we're going to shoot an episode about date nights. So definitely check us out on all the platforms. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
This is the Greenville NC Pep
Talk.
Talk.
Everyone who stuck it out. The whole 25 minutes.
25
You're a champ.
minutes.
You're a trooper if you stuck on to this point.
Yeah, thank you so much for all our fans out there. Again, we're going to keep trying to bring more content to you. Greenville NC Pep Talk, the people, events, and places that we like to call home. And shout out to Luna Pizza. We apologize, but we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.